Good afternoon. My name is Melissa Retenio, and today I will be presenting on a topic of drug and alcohol abuse in the workplace and the options that companies have to assist employees suffering from addictions. Drug and alcohol abuse has become one of the biggest concerns in the workplace that needs to be addressed. As an employee, it is important to be aware of the consequences that drugs and alcohol abuse can cause in the workplace. It is not only harmful to the employee suffering from the addiction, but it can also impact the entire organization. In this oral presentation, we will discuss the steps that companies can take to assist employees struggling with drug and alcohol abuse. To begin, let's talk about the difference between alcohol addiction and substance addiction. While both types of addictions have negative impact on an individual's life, they do have some differences that should be taken into account. Alcohol addiction is considered a disability, which is protected under the American with Disabilities Act, while substance addiction is not protected. Furthermore, the treatment for both types of addictions differ. Alcohol addiction can sometimes be treated with medication and therapy, while substance addiction requires a more intensive approach. This can include inpatient treatment and detox programs to help individuals overcome physical dependency. Firstly, it's important to understand the problem. According to the National Survey of Drug Use and Health, nearly 15 million adults struggle with alcohol abuse disorder in the U.S. alone. Additionally, drug abuse leads to increased absentees, decreased productivity, costs of loss, and causing a loss of approximately 80 billion annually for U.S. companies. Moreover, drug and alcohol abuse can lead to hazardous behavior and accidents on the job site. Secondly, companies have a legal obligation to comply with the Americans with Disability Act, ADA. When dealing with employees who are facing addiction problems, companies can create drug and alcohol abuse policy that guides employees who are suffering from addiction. Proper guidelines should be in place as maintaining strict confidentiality of the employee's medical condition to avoid the stigma, discrimination, and other negative implications. It is important to create a drug and alcohol abuse policy with clear expectations and consequences that apply to all employees. An effective policy outlines a step-by-step procedure on how to get assistance for struggling employees and resources available for employees, as they are the primary keys to a successful recovery. Companies can provide assistance by offering employee assistance programs, EAPs, to employees. They provide a professional and confidential consultation to both employers and employees to link them to helpful resources. Companies can also leverage the local resources available in providing affordable health plans that cover drug rehabilitation, counseling with designated treatment providers, rehabilitation centers, or support groups. What are other options, or what are options companies have for employees suffering from addiction? Well, research by Shumi and Sadiq have found that companies with EAPs have had a lower rate of substance abuse among their employees. Additionally, a study by Livingston suggests that workplace drug testing can be an effective tool in reducing drug use among employees. Which again, that could be another option, or we could implement a drug and alcohol testing program, which would help identify employees with addiction issues before they become a safety risk and provide assistance before worsened. However, companies should establish a clear policy on drug and alcohol testing and be transparent with employees about the program. Now, some employees may feel how intrusive drug tests are, especially when they're not being sanctioned by the judicial court system, which a lot may feel that way, and so a rebuttal would be the employee-employer confidentiality agreement. Although there are some flaws to drug testing. One is, for example, an employee who uses marijuana recreationally on the weekends may test positive on a drug test, even if they're not impaired or under the influence while on the job. This can lead to false positives and just unfair disciplinary actions or termination. Rather than solely rely on drug testing, some advocates argue that companies should focus on creating a culture of support of resources for employees who may be struggling with addiction. This could be offering mental health services, counseling, education on substance abuse and addiction, as well as creating policies that support employees in seeking treatment and recovery. Ultimately, the decision to use drug testing as a tool for addressing substance abuse in the workplace should be carefully considered and balanced against employees' rights to privacy and fair treatment. Employers should weigh potential benefits of drug testing against the potential risks and drawbacks and strive to create a supportive and compassionate work environment for all employees. Another option was stated is training and educating their employees on the importance of drug and alcohol abuse awareness. They can conduct workshops and presentations that offer insights on the topics, strategies on how to avoid addiction, hands-on training, and provide tips to employees on how to identify symptoms of drug and alcohol abuse. Empowering employees through education will go a long way in preventing and managing addiction before it becomes a full-blown problem. Companies can provide education and training about substance to their employees, and this could be these are some of the examples. Substance abuse awareness training, again, that provides employees with information about the risks and consequences of substance abuse, how to identify signs of addiction in themselves or their colleagues. Stress management training, many people turn to substance as a way to cope with stress. Providing employees with effective stress management techniques and support can help prevent substance abuse. Motivational interviewing training. Motivational interviewing training is a counseling technique that can be utilized in helping employees overcome addictions. This training teaches employees how to use technique to support colleagues struggling with addiction. These resources can provide valuable education to the employees on the importance of mental health and substance abuse, as well as ways to help individuals recognize addictions and provide them with resources for assistance. Overall, providing employees with access to EAPs and education training programs can help address substance abuse in the workplace. It is important to note that alcohol abuse is considered a disability while illegal drugs is not protected by the law. In conclusion, it is essential for companies to address drug and alcohol abuse in the workplace to ensure a healthy and positive work environment. Creating policies, providing assistance, and educating employees can go a long way for a productive working environment. Drug and alcohol addiction can also have, or what type of detrimental impact drug and alcohol addiction can have on an employee and its workplace as a whole. However, companies can take proactive steps to assist employees in overcoming addiction. Implementing the EAPs, drug and alcohol testing, and educational resources are all viable options. It is important for companies to support employees without stigmatizing them for seeking help and ensure confidentiality for employees seeking assistance. Thank you for listening.